Whiskey Happens. And if you're new to the channel, we've noticed we've grown a little bit. Appreciate it. I'm Garrett. That's Travis. And today we are going to be discussing Elijah Craig's A124. That's this year's release.
Yep. Very excited.
I am. I think immediately, like, the obvious thing is going to be, is it as good as C923? It's probably not going to be. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you can't recreate that magic. I know a lot of the draw was because it had a 13-year age statement on it. And I think that we don't actually know what that means, right? It's youngest in the barrel, of course, 13 years. However, there could have been a 25-year in there. I think barrel proofs are a great way to get rid of barrels you probably can't do anything with.
Oh, yeah. It's a great way.
And it doesn't mean that that barrel or that lot of barrels isn't in here as well.
That's very true.
Maybe not, but I'm remaining hopeful.
I think a lot of it, though, too, is, every year the A, B, and C, it's like it kind of grows with anticipation. Like A's always tend to be a little, B's tend to be a little bit better, and then C's get even are usually the better of the bunch a lot of years. But I also then think, is it because the C's are better that the A's we feel are worse? Or are we just like, what I'm saying? Because you're coming off such a high from what you were tasting to this. It's like, it's hard to keep going that trajectory.
I don't know, to be honest with you. I know, for example, I bought a couple of, and this is a while ago, the Elijah Craig B-Lot 521. So I still have another bottle in my collection that I just really enjoyed. I don't remember if that was the popular one that year, but for me, it was that time. I can't tell you another time B-Lot was my favorite. C happens to be my favorite a lot of times. I think I have an A122 as well. I have
an A122 back there.
Okay. So it does vary just lately. And then the same thing, I've said this before, if you've been with us a while, the Booker's, the 03 tends to be the one I like the most. I have no real clue what that means as far as what they're doing. It could just be coincidence, other than when they're dumping the barrels.
I also think it has something to do with seasonality. So like you said, when they're dumping it. So how many extra seasons has it gone through? What season are you dumping it in? What season did it get barreled in? And I think that plays a lot into it. So it could play along with why A, B, and C. It kind of grows with each year, with each.
Yeah, expression. I think that could be very true with Booker's because there's probably four seasons. Yeah. This, if we're dumping, and I'm not sure if everyone knows this, but the A-Lot, A1 normally is January, right? So then B5 is May. C9 is September. The numbers correlate with the month of the year. But that's not necessarily when it was barreled.
Yeah.
Because obviously these things take time. Then you got to get on the shelves for January, May, and September. So that's interesting. I don't know. But let's get on to nosing this.
Let's nose this bad boy.
So we popped this probably about 10 minutes or so.
Yeah.
And immediately it's airy.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. There's no ethanol draw to it. It's not giving me anything right off the top of the head. Like it's not punching me in the face with any specific type of smell, which is interesting for this brand, especially the barrel proof. It's normally got something.
Wispy vanilla and slight pear, but like it is so faint, which I believe it's 10 years. 10-year age statement, 9 months, 119 proof. So the proof is out there to where I think I would be like, hey, take it easy. But let's go into that taste.
Yeah, let's do that.
Delightful. Now, is it rival the C923? I can tell you yet. But initial sip, delightful. Big burst of orange, caramel.
I get smokiness, so I get a lot of like cigar tobacco. Like that's what I get right off the very punch, but I'm gonna go into that.
Yeah, I think on the back end there's definitely more of the cigar tobacco on the finish. Big pepper bomb.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily drink its proof all the way through, but it definitely lets you know what you had by the time it's done. And I actually kind of like that.
Yeah, it's leathery, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Like it kind of sticks with you. Like, everyone talks about that. And it's like, how long does it kind of last as you're kind of sipping on it and things? Because it's definitely not something you could sit here and just drink real fast. It drinks hotter than 119.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
It drinks hotter than what it says. That, for me at least, I'm thinking like if no one was to give me this, if we were to do a blind on this, I would say this is like a 120s, 130s almost like the Old Forester type, with that kick that you get at the very back end.
And I think I don't ever think I've ever said this before, but like the longer it sits, it's more peppermint. I know I said pepper bomb, but like the more it sits, a minty note comes through, and I actually really appreciate the finish on this.
I do too.
It is different. I don't think I've ever said any Elijah Craig's lots were mint. I don't think I've ever.
I get what you're saying with the mint. I don't taste mint, but I get where you're going with it. It's almost like a mint's the right word, but to me, I don't know. I'm struggling with the actual wording of it, but this is the first one that I've ever tasted that really finishes like this. Like, none of the other ones finish like this, and so it's very interesting. Like, it's off what their normal A-lots to me have been in the past. It's very different.
All right, well,
let's get on this mice.
While we pour these up, I'd like to remind everyone, if you appreciate the shirt that I'm wearing or Travis is wearing, we do have merch available on our website. That's whiskeyhappens.com. I'll probably put a picture in right here. You never saw my finger twirl. And any support would be greatly appreciated.
Oh, it's okay.
There's something metal in my thing?
I played around with adding the
you have it too?
Yeah, the cubes that are, that you can just freeze. Those little metal cubes that you can fuse.
Okay.
Freeze. I put it in the ice to see if it would keep the ice longer.
I thought it was like a medical clamp, like staple. When I saw this,
don't drink it.
Okay. I'm immediately pulling butterscotch, but then like followed by licorice.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is super mellow now. Like, that's easy. Like Sunday morning. That's easy to drink right there.
I'm struggling. I the anise and the is
yeah. It's a weird dynamic.
Bad though. It's just different.
It is. It's something I wouldn't have expected from the way it was tasting before to automatically change that drastically for just a little. You guys see, we put it on and start drinking pretty much right away. So I mean, as soon as it hits that ice, it's that complexity changes 100%. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm mixed on it.
It's like the butterscotch part of it is very nice, velvety, coats the tongue well. Like if someone gave me, what are those things called? If you had put it in a shaker on some cubes and then poured it, I would never think that this was on the rocks the way it performs. Yeah. And I would be okay with that. But I think that it diminishes the end for me.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't finish as nice as it does when you drink it neat.
And I suspect that this is just going to balance it out. That harshness at the end. Or amplify it. I don't I don't know what's going on.
That is.
Let me see that. I'm just going to try it without the cube and see if that's the situation here. Yeah. There's something with the ice that is not, I don't know.
changes the flavor profile 100%.
This is fine.
Yeah.
I don't mind it at all. It's delicious. But something with the water is putting it off. Unless that was... Oh, was that a good oomph or...
No, I was
Okay.
just like,
I thought maybe I had to wait and I was
No.
just being impatient.
no.
All right, so well, let's just get into it then.
Yeah.
I'm going to give this one a neat. I do think that if your Coke is cold enough, it's fine to mix with a Coke. However, ice is not going to be, the rocks is not going to do it for me this time. What about you?
No, I'm the exact same way. Like that, this neat was great. On the rocks, I just thought it would. To me, I thought it would mellow it out, but you would still get those flavors. It completely changed the complexity of it. And I didn't try it like Garrett did with the Coke in there, so I can't really say. But with the Coke, how I'm having it, no. I mean, it makes it a little bit better, but it's neat all day.
Yeah, well, that being said, I'm going to go ahead and put this out there now. Thank you for sticking with us to the end of the video. C923 is definitely the better one, 100%. However, I will say that a 124 does add some uniqueness and character to what is not normally associated with Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. So I think in that aspect, it's worth a buy, but just don't go into it for the expectation of C923 was great. I paid anywhere from $69 to $150 for it, and it was worth it. This one should retail for $69.99. A stretch would be...
$80.
Well, I feel like I'm at $80, but if you live in a town, city, or whatever where Elijah Craig is commonly $99, and that's just the price you see all day, every day, I think that's still okay.
Okay. All right. I can.
However, anywhere $10 above retail, I'm gonna say no. It's not worth it. Try it at your local bar. Maybe your friend will send you a handshake, and so on.
So, if you have any other way that you might want to add this into a different drink, so like if you've added it with ginger or you've had it with a mixed drink or you've tried something else, let us know. We're always interested to try it different ways. We always do Coke because that's just how we did it when we were in college, and we're going to keep it rolling. But doesn't matter if you like it neat, on the rocks, or in a fucking Coke. Whiskey happens.
Cheers.
Cheers.